Ready? Aim!
There's too many!
Anyone see my mammoth?
Stubby!
Welcome again, everyone. My name's still Mickey, and this week I'm joined by the absolutely lovely Thijs from Rotterdam White Scars. How you doing, buddy?
How are you doing?
I'm all right. And I'm sure everyone else is as well. First of all, I'm going to apologise that we are 10 minutes late. I forgot the clocks went back. Well, I didn't forget the clocks went back. I forgot the clocks went back today. Then ended up thinking, oh, I've got a whole extra hour. I'll start on some DIY. And then I started on some DIY, and lo and behold, I got carried away with said DIY. So, yeah, I was a bit late. I do apologise.
It happens.
Hey, for this is one of the few times where a guest was asking me, like, "Are you ready?" Which I appreciate massively, Thijs. Anyway, how are things going with you over there?
Pretty great. We had a great run at the London Grand Tournament for our channel. Personally, it was really awesome to go there and be there as a guest of the event to film. Big shout out to there. And yeah, the personal life has no issues at all, and the channel is doing amazing at the moment. The Rotterdam White Scars. We have the biggest growth since the beginning of our channel, and awesome to see everybody so involved in Song of Ice Fire again. It seems the community is not declining anymore when it comes to numbers, but it is slowly growing again.
Hey,
it feels.
That's what you like to hear, isn't it? It is actually now funny because I remember when Rotterdam White Scars had kind of just kicked up. I say just kicked up. It wasn't that you'd just started or anything, but you'd kind of just started ramping up song content. Going back, well, probably best part of like a year and a half ago now, when you really started ramping more up. And lo and behold, you are now. I mean, I don't know why I'm inviting you on our channel, because you should be inviting us to yours, I guess, or I should be asking to be invited, because you're now a much bigger channel than we are anyway, by a country mile, which for song content,
subs, so
you know.
yeah, but this is you asking to be on our channel, Mickey.
Maybe.
You are already on our channel. Remember the invitational game you lost?
Yeah, no, I remember that. That doesn't really count. Yeah. People have probably seen that now and thought, oh god, this is this free folk player isn't very good. At which point I'd be like, yeah, you know, that's what happens when bad things happen. Yeah, that's a sad game.
It can all be viewed in 4K high definition with great audio, great lights. So of course it will be there for the
forever
future.
It's on the internet now, Thijs. Can't delete it now. It's not how. Once it's on the internet, it can't ever be removed. Cool. Yeah. It's
There's one thing we have to mention first, Mickey.
Yeah, go on.
Patience. Numero uno.
Yeah.
Eins. One.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Not what I would have liked. It sounds really weird. As in, like, it would have been nice. I mean, I've been playing a few games and winning games here and there, but realistically, what's happened is Mikkel's lost, I think, 1 or 2 games. And obviously, when you're up this high, losing 1 or 2 games in a row, literally 2 games in a row is enough to drop you, or even like 2 games back to back or in close succession is enough to drop you so many points. I saw it when I was doing my badge runs. You know, if I my example one as well. See here when there's badge runs, like it's literally 2 games or something like that you might lose. in close succession, and it drops you down so many points that you have to recover. And that's the nature of how ELO works, especially if you're playing with against players who are a long way away from you in terms of ELO. So yeah, it's unfortunate for me that Mikel dropped, because Mikel's been sat at above 2,100 for a long time, and he's dropped below that now down to 2070. But yeah, it was always a close run thing, obviously. You know, with one game between me and Mikel play, and it goes a crushing victory one way or the other. You put the other player, either I would have been close to overtaking him, or he'd have skyrocketed another like 30 points ahead of me, potentially. Well, no, it would have been
Playing very
25.
often, Mickey.
We used to play a lot more in the lead up to the Invitational. We played in the UK twice at UK Nationals and Invitational last year. But actually, genuinely, since France last year, I've barely played Mikel. Then, which is a shame. He's a great player, and I enjoy playing Mikel. It's good to play against. But yeah, it's been a long time. Abiscus also given me shit for saying, "Where's my Bolton badge?" I literally need to win with Steel Shanks Bolton, and I haven't yet played him. Tells you everything you need to know. Which is funny because he should be the easiest one to win with, but I don't know. Anyway, that's about me. It's not important. Being first is just a fleeting thing. It'll go. Let's talk about you, Thijs. Let's talk about the channel. Let's talk about the videos you've been putting up. So, it wasn't just invitational videos that you've got. I know you've got videos from the LGT as a whole, the main event, as well as the invitational. But you've got loads of stuff, right? You've been doing, you've been finishing off the French Nationals that Yoram was at. You've done the invitational now, which you've finished off. Got all 3 games of that up. You've got, I guess you've got the LGT main event coming soon as well.
Yeah, if you look at this year, we did 4 international events. We started with NOPAD, which is the Helsinki Grand Tournament in Finland. I went there for Middle Earth, and Jeroen went there for Song of Ice Fire. So we filmed over there with Timu and stuff. So guys, and then we did. Jeroen went to Always Winter in Scotland.
Yeah.
So we also have the Scottish Grand Tournament on our channel, and we have the French Nationals. We also have the London Grand Tournament as a whole, so 7 games. The Invitational, so 3 games for the Invitational. So 5 international events, if you count the Invitational as separate from the LGT.
Yeah, which it is.
Which is pretty awesome, and it's really great, especially with the London Grand Tournament. It's the first time we actually had one of us free to actually do something with the camera instead of just hoping for the best. Hard, and normally you have a really controlled setup in our studio. Easy to film. We're in a sports arena with over 1,000 people shouting and light coming from all kinds of directions. And I remember we came to the LGT and we asked for some electricity. One of the maintenance guys opened the hatch and there was half a foot of water covering the electricity outlet, and was like, "This isn't going to work." He was like, and he quickly closed it and ran somewhere else. And this is also the reason.
Amazing.
We really want to do live streams from these events, but it's because of situations like this, like the unpredictability of the situation at the venue, and especially abroad. Live streaming isn't really an option. But we really want to invest in live streaming next year. So we'll try to live stream from our own events, which is the Lowlands GT in March.
Yes.
We're gonna try to do that first because we know the situation at our venue. We know the owner of the venue. We've been there a dozen times for other tournaments as well. So, we hope we can improve our broadcasting technology from our own event.
So
yeah,
it's actually interesting you mentioned that, because when we, NRG had looked to do some recordings last year of last year's LGT. we looked into things like mobile dongles, which I know sounds really weird, but you connect them up to your mobile phone, you pay for
About this.
data, and then you can like stream, and they actually worked like fine for streaming, which we weren't sure about initially. I think there was some issues with one of them, and I can't remember if we ended up using it or not in the end. But I agree, the unpredictability of streaming was one of the many issues that I myself have faced and thought about when it comes to streaming events. It's something that I thought about whether we want to do some like not even necessarily streaming the games, but doing like actual event streaming, of like going around the tables and really streaming the whole day like an IRL type thing. But yeah, it's just not feasible unless you've got the kit and know what you're walking into. Yeah, unfortunate.
Especially the second part. So,
Yeah.
because if we wanted to go to a streaming route, I mean, we are investing at the moment quite some money into streaming decks and equipment. If we would have taken that to the LGT, for example, you open a hatch and it's full of water, and the internet plug was also full of water. I mean, you're done. Like, you're actually done. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nothing you can do about. So it's a bit of a gamble, and be jealous for guys that are tournaments that are able to stream. Great tip though, if you want to do streaming event, search for an event that is in a church, because most churches have a great streaming setup for their services. They really do. So friends in the church, you're all set.
Are you genuinely telling people to have wargame events inside churches?
The best way to stream your games, because they are already set up for streaming, most of them.
Amazing, amazing. There's your top tip for the day. Have your wargames events in churches because of the stream setups. This is why people tune into the Song Life and Fire stats for genuinely brilliant snippets like that.
Best tips you can have.
You're making me want to see if the church I live near. Oh, you're giving me ideas now, Thijs. Don't do that. Right.
Spaces as well. Probably lots of chairs and tables for services. So.
Oh no, you're getting me all thinking about things I shouldn't think about, because that would be a terrible idea. Otherwise, I'd be down the low. My church is literally 50 meters away, if that. So like, it would be amazing. And then I might accidentally end up stealing their Wi-Fi for other things. Not good.
Personal Wi-Fi.
All right then. Yeah. So cool. Obviously you've been to these events. I mean, I don't want to say this as a kind of like taking the thunder away from anyone else, of course. And people who travel, fantastic. Obviously, love to see it. Keep it up. A massive respect to anyone who does travel. But I'm pretty sure it means that Joran, yourself, and Rotterdam White Scars, if you will, are now probably one of the most travelled group when it comes to playing Song this year, definitely, in terms of attendance at major events and spread of those events. You've got the Finnish, UK, Scotland, and France as being 4 major events. Invitational and UK being effectively the same one for this argument, but 2 trips to the UK, a trip to Finland, a trip to France. Now France isn't that far, but
3 trips, by the way. We also went to Dead Meta Gaming guys.
I completely forgot that you were at the Northern GT. Of course, Joran was at the Northern GT.
Wasn't
Oh,
the Northern GT? It was at the Middle Earth event in Manchester.
Oh yes.
Went on the Wednesday to their streaming.
Yes, that was it, wasn't it? I completely forgot about that. Honestly, I completely forgot.
Me too. So.
So I mean, that's crazy though. I mean, that's a lot of travel. Now, and we live in a very lucky part of the world where traveling to a lot of these countries isn't that difficult. If you really want to, you can do it. But that is, that's huge kudos as well. Obviously for you guys in terms of spreading your channel, getting out there and speaking to people, meeting people, developing those relationships. But it's also, getting that, capturing and sharing that kind of like experience from the different places that you've been to. I think is phenomenal. And thanks for you, Thijs, for doing that. But also massive thanks to Joran as well, because he is absolutely I don't know what to call him. Man on a mission, for want of a better term. He just absolutely loves going to places.
He does, and I think this was also the goal for us this year, because after COVID, we wanted to show the European community, other than just the Netherlands, to the world. We saw it as a mission to combine the community a bit more, and to really, try to create sort of a European community as well. What you see in the USA, for example, you have a lot of regionals, and they all get combined into like this tournament structure that's really well set up. Didn't see that in Europe. Like in 2021, 2022, it was a bit. You still had a lot of like settlements in Europe, and we tried to really bring everybody together as well.
Mhm.
It was sort of our goal for this year to really travel. We're not gonna travel this much next year, so sorry for that, because there's a financial aspect to it. So this year we moved some financials, also our personal finances, set all aside to be able to travel. To discuss with the home front as well, of course.
Mhm.
I think it worked out perfectly in the end. What I said, now that we have finished our European tour, we see a lot of growth for our channel. It's really amazing. I mean, over 10,000 views a month, over almost 100 subs a month, growing. The watch hours are also insane, almost 2,500 watch hours last month. That means a lot of people are really watching our content and enjoying it. Yeah, it has been just one awesome ride so far.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool. And fantastic to hear, obviously, as well. Is want from any channel. Now, there's actually a question in chat. Now, I assume this is for yourself, unless it's for me, in which case I can talk to you about it later, Jordan. But Abiscus, Jordan asks, is your overlay done manually? And I'm guessing it means this overlay here. Is it all done manually? And I'm guessing it's done by you in the editing, right?
It's I mean the overlay. So you see the artwork. I did that for our channel. We've got a couple versions for this, because you also have the one with the Martel extra NCU zone, and with the Targaryen extra NCU zone.
Mhm.
Then dying and stuff. So we have to make a couple combinations to have all the versions.
Okay.
And every time there's a new NCU pack, I have to create these buttons that you see on top. So I have a full drive with all the artwork for all the NCUs. Have to if there are new tactic cards and stuff, I also have to edit them all, so we can use them in our. We have like a whole database full of tactic cards, objective cards, mission cards, NCU buttons, and stuff. And the animation, so if you see everything moving, that's done. Of course, it's done manually, but it isn't like we have to drag them. We saved all the coordinates for all the animations, so you just put in the animations, all saved animations, so to say. If you at the end of the round, you can see it really clear when a round is changing. So a little bit before the end of the round, see all the NCUs and stuff resetting.
There we go. I'll just let it play, so you won't get any.
You will see, you will see the NCUs resetting. So these cards, for example, you see in the screen, something that we've edited and saved for us.
Okay.
It's also when you can see at the top, you see all the NCUs resetting. Just a bit of code that we created. So you enter the coordinates. We saved all the coordinates for kind of stuff.
It's you talking there about saving all like the logos and everything and all the NCUs and everything. Did make me think a lot about whether or not it's we can definitely look at. I think it would be definitely a very good idea to look at effectively a content creator package, right? Mostly it's me doing this manually, says Yoren.
It's manually when it comes to, but the coordinates are saved.
We could,
This content creator package before, but
yeah.
it's I'm gonna give a blunt, honest reaction to this.
Uh-huh.
Everybody that asks for it, because we get this question probably a couple times a year, that people want to use our overlay or use our graphics, which is fine. I mean, the question is fine in itself, but it's mainly people that haven't tried themselves.
Yes.
I'm not really keen on sharing people that didn't put in the effort themselves and then putting in, then handing over a template that I worked 50 hours on. That's not something that I'm looking forward to, but as a general get starter pack, that's all for it. But I mainly get the question from people that haven't done the work themselves, and that really sometimes bothers me. I'm going to be honest here.
Yes.
I'm like, nah, I'm sorry. I always show them, so I always give them a little call, show them in Photoshop how I've done everything. If they, and 9 out of 10 times I show them all the tricks. So I show them how you do it yourself, how you can make it your own, and how I make buttons, for example. And I did this 2 or 3 times without calling any names, because they're not on here, I think. But they never pick up or try themselves. So then I'm like, yeah. So you just want to get the shortcut and let me do the work, and feel a bit too much, maybe a bit of pride in it. Like, I'm not gonna just give you all the work done for,
There's
without.
nothing wrong with that at all. Like, really, there isn't anything wrong with
Awkward
that.
to say it like this, but it is what it is.
Exactly. I think what would be good though, and it definitely is worth us talking, and I say us, but like, one of the things that obviously Stats does is I prepare, and I will thank not just I'll thank Corellian for this, but not just Corellian, but he did a lot of the stuff for me in the last. Pardon me, sorry. He did a lot of stuff for me in the last update, which was really handy. But we would take pictures of all of the cards and all the tactics cards and everything, and get them to fit for Stats, obviously. But then for TTS mod, we would then create NCU logos like you've seen if you've watched on TTS, like the overlays and stuff on TTS. Those are all created manually, put together, and there isn't a good reason really why a database of certainly the imagery, isn't there. People can do what they want, but if people wanted to create their own NCU tokens, fine, whatever. But like having an online repository, if you will, for like at least just the imagery that people could then use, it would be a fantastic start. And then, which is what I'm thinking as well for you, it's less of your job or any one particular person's job to update that file with like the NCUs coming in, because we can just go, look, here's one done. Now we can just port it out wherever you need it, which would be a lot easier, I think. It might save you some effort, might save us some effort, it might save everyone some effort if everyone's just putting them all in one place.
Maybe this is good to also ask a couple other content creators.
Yeah.
Well, if you can like have a contributions from a couple people, that makes it a lot easier. And let me just think about it. It's a good approach, I think. But also good to see, because that's one of the, we said at the beginning of this chat, that the community is growing. The amount of content isn't.
Yeah. Not really.
If I type in a Soyev battle report, I see 10 videos, and 8 of them are from my own channel, our own channel. You have a couple from Imperial Minis who does a great job, and some others like Sunday Slaughter, of course, but the consistency in content is really low at the moment.
Definitely. There are some obviously
But you
up there.
but if you look at the dates and how old they are all
they're old. You know, Hero Minis, like you say yourself up there. Hibiscus, I know that Jordan does put stuff up when he can. I mean, they're 6 years old, that video. Still makes it one of the top ones there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, kudos. It's probably the most heavily watched video ever for the game, but happens on a big channel. I've never actually done this, I've never looked through just a load of random stuff.
There's some like new. If you look at new videos or like recent videos at the top as a filter, see what kind of.
Oh wow, one from Russia and or Ukraine. I have no idea. I do not know the difference between Cyrillic, unfortunately. I'm guessing that's Russian though. Yours up there, obviously loads of your stuff up there. Yeah.
But post 2 times a week, so if you see 4 of our videos together, that means there's just our content, nothing more.
Tiger Hawk in chat says they owe the world 5 Wardens of the Midwest reports sitting on your computer ready to be edited. Hey man, obviously cool. It would be cool if you got them out there, but honestly, no pressure. I have been on, and I have a huge amount of sympathy for Tyson Yoram for this as well. I've been on the end of having to edit reports, and if you don't have things set up in a certain way so it's nice and easy, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And
just keep it simple. But what you have to do is just film the video, film an intro, film an outro, do a close-up of the miniatures all together, and that's it. Start with that. That's what we started with the shaky cam. Our channel started over 10 years ago with Warhammer 40k, even in Dutch. It was all shaky cam, like a mini wargaming style.
Nice.
Just start with that.
9 years ago. Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Oh. I'm gonna see what
This is it's all handy cam and all in the Games Workshop Rotterdam.
Amazing.
This style, mini wargaming calls.
This is honestly amazing. I love it. Oh wow. How things change, right? How things change.
Yeah.
Tiger Hawk says he's been with US Nationals. He's more focused on playing than painting, which is fair enough. We are all hobbyists first and foremost. We enjoy the hobby aspect first, and I know that different people prefer different aspects. Some people prefer playing, some people prefer competitive, some people prefer like casual, some people prefer painting, some people prefer videoing, and some people just prefer going to events and being there and seeing all the cool stuff, which is what Thijs did at London. He was just there, filming, enjoying himself, and watching people play. And you'd think, I mean, I thought it was crazy, right? I thought Thijs was crazy just going over to film, honestly. And then I spoke to him at different times, and checked up on him at different points during the event. And I've never seen a guy be simultaneously more chilled out and relaxed in an event, while also not bored. He was actually just really enjoying himself watching like the different games and things like that, and getting to see all the cool things.
Awesome it was. You didn't have any time to watch all the other games.
I know,
I saw everything.
And then you got to watch Carlo all day Sunday, which is right. So
he was extremely sick, so I was really feeling sorry for him. So at one point I was like, "Can I grab you some tea? Do you want something else? Do you need some water?" And also for his opponents, of course. But I was really feeling sorry for him because he kept on winning. For your own health and for your own sake, please stop winning so you can have some relaxed games. He kept the pressure on and kept on winning, and was I felt so sorry for him, although he won. So
he bathes in the blood of his enemies. That rejuvenates him. It's fine.
yes.
I wouldn't say he's like a corn berserker or anything like that, but yeah, he can be a bit like. But yeah. All right then. So yeah, channel. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna get started, do just get started. I think as a general shout out to any potential content creators, get out there and make it because it'll be cool to see more things being made. And on that note, a little bit of a side scramble, talking about things being made and people creating cool things. You've been doing some kind of wish list stuff, which has been quite successful. People have enjoyed it. These short wish list videos. You did House Baratheon the other day. I did watch it kind of in the background of stuff in the house, but I did have it on watching in the background. And I know that there's a lot of people who've been saying kind of like what they want, including not just on YouTube but on Discord and things like that, talking about potential things they want as
all
well.
over the place. Yeah.
So you've said that you're doing a top 5 wish list for mini factions coming up, and I'm semi-excited about this. And I say semi-excited because we actually talked about this in London. On the Friday night, we were walking to the venue we were going to have some food at, and me, you, and Joran were talking about like what we consider a mini faction, that and the other, and had quite a long discussion. I know you guys had already kind of set your eyes on what you kind of was going to discuss, but it was really interesting having the conversation around just the lore and not really about the game itself, but then also thinking about how we'd apply that faction to the game and what that would look like if you were going to do it. So that was really cool. I remember
think,
discussing like the others stuff, but yeah, go on.
I think, well, Simon did announce mini factions specifically when releasing the Boltons.
Yep.
What I believe a different configuration when it comes to their content compared to other like main factions. For example, no neutral influence, quite a minimalistic amount of commanders and NCUs and units, and sometimes borrowed from already existing units, because so they're like a refurbished version of a set that's already in the game. We've looked at a couple, a lot of factions that are still yet to be released or already been released as a unit, for example, in another faction. There's still a lot of possibilities. There's still a lot of possibilities for mini factions, and Jeroen and I also believe that this is the reason why we have Boltons at the moment.
Yeah.
Look a little bit further, you can see that the Boltons, although they're quite fun to play, they're not really that competitive, but they also lower the amount of effort you have to put in to really master a faction for new players.
So like
aren't a lot of options.
Barrier of entry, right?
They're like
lowering barrier, I guess.
So they lower the barrier of entry quite significantly because you have less options to choose from. It's less difficult, less complex to master a faction, and it's also not something that if you play, for example, you're with a friend and you start out new, you buy Boltons and another mini faction, you will be guaranteed a little bit more the even chance of winning. They're just less complex and less broad than all the other factions, we believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Good starter set, so yeah, like also a good starter set for new players, and this might also help bringing new life to the game. So that's why we wanted to focus on these mini factions. The QTs I've also sent you, because what we've done with the mini factions, we've actually made 5 different box arts. Mini factions completely from scratch, and what we're also going to do, we're going to discuss all the 5 factions in separate videos, with Boardman Gaming what being one of them, and also you've already seen it on Discord, Stormlord, with and not to mention faction, because I'm not going to spoil which faction it is, but if you search for Stormlord, this is one of the factions, the Brotherhood Without Banners, that we're working on right now.
This is
Artwork borrowed from somewhere and completely changed the box and reinstall with the Brotherhood Without Banners.
that's really cool. I know that someone made a Brotherhood Without Banners faction maybe 2 years ago, I want to say. They kind of put some stuff together for it. But yeah, I think it's I think this is a cool idea. I like being able to discuss potential content and kind of like stuff for the game, but coming from like a narrative perspective as well as just a game perspective. You know, this is what we think narratively they should be like. This is what they should include. How does that actually port to game mechanics? You know, how can we realize that idea? And I really like that kind of discussion. And I know that Shane, obviously over at Boardman, is he's really good at understanding what the lore might be and how that might look in a game mechanic, while also being unique and not just copy pasting mechanics like we've seen previously. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really fun. See what kind of people end up, what people end up creating with the ideas. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this video actually a lot because you've got some really passionate people involved with it as well. I'm looking forward to it. I am.
I think it's next Sunday, or yeah, next Sunday we will post the top 5 video that you showed the thumbnail for. That will be interviewing Shane from Boardman Gaming, but also Stormlord for two of the factions. Jeroen, Neil, and Raymond, who are also on the channel quite often, and myself. Currently working on the rule set for now just the Brotherhood Without Banners, and we're also creating artwork and stuff at the moment as well for cards. Will be in the future, but we will discuss all 5 mini factions to see what we come up with or somebody else comes up with.
That's wicked.
It also helps Simon for giving them a little bit of direction, but I always that they are watching, so.
Yeah, we can only hope, right? But no, that's really cool. That's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's really really awesome. And as I said, I think it's always really fun to see what kind of things people end up coming up with. Because people come up with some crazy stuff sometimes. You look at it and you just think, where has that come from, or why on earth have they done that? And it ends up being a really unique or cool idea that ends up being something that is fun. You know, again, Shane, for example, with what he did with the Arons, crazy. If you've not seen it, you'll probably end up talking about it anyway on your video. But it is crazy, and you should definitely check that stuff out before, during, and after listening to the Rotterdam White Scars video, because he went overboard with that. Like, he did
Made the main
so
faction
much.
actually, so.
Did he?
Actually, yeah, it's he built it like a main faction, so you also
Yeah,
have
I did. Yeah, yeah,
the Wildmans and stuff, and
yeah.
all kinds of clans, and
Oh,
just amazing amount of
work.
NCUs and attachments, and it's more than because if you start reading it on Boardman Gaming his website, okay, cool. There's a lot of stuff in here, but if you keep on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, there's so much stuff in there. It's all such a unique perspective. And then also gathering all the artwork for all the characters he made, it's just unbelievable.
It's
I've been looking for artwork, and it's really hard to find good artwork that you can use in game, and he found it all. So it's amazing.
yeah, he outdid himself with that. He really did. And don't get me wrong, he sets the bar high. And the House Aaron faction stuff, which again I won't spoil for people too much, although it is already spoiled because it's been out for years. Um, if you've never seen it before, honestly, go check it out, and definitely check it out if you are interested and you're going to watch the Rotterdam White Scars video about it, because the content is absolutely crazy. Different format to the way that Simon does it, but he has got a whole faction fledged out. 34 pages of work gone into artwork, cards, characters, units, you name it. And I think the faction as a whole might actually be bigger in terms of options than any other faction in the game. It's crazy. Oh, and beautiful.
Built the castles and stuff, so like rules for the castles, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, he did proper
So like the
siege.
siege, yeah, the
rules and
siege stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it's all
Yeah. Oh, amazing. God, you just reminded me. I love Sean. All right then. So we'll move on from one creation to another creation. Okay. This is a set of creations that's been sent in by a viewer. We didn't have any painting kind of to judge last week. This week we do have some painting to judge. So I'm going to throw this up on screen and get to have a look at some of the cool stuff that we have here. So
to judge.
here we go. This is a bunch of characters and attachments for free folk. It wasn't obvious. They're on what I have to say is an absolutely lovely base. The basing is lovely on these. Seamless. I'm guessing he's gone for the magnets in heat type style, so you don't have bases and things like that in terms of like your coin bases. So they blend seamlessly into grey. What do you think of those? It's just some nice little ruffians.
They're really nice. I really enjoy basing like this. I've been doing this also more often with my solo bases lately because I don't really have a base when it's a solo tray.
Yeah, no, I don't understand that either.
I have to say it's a solid 0, right?
It's a solid 0. It gets better, right? So this one here is a little diorama he made for his Night's Watch NCUs. Night's Watch NCUs. Oh my god, I'm gonna get crucified for that.
Cool.
Free folk NCUs.
Yeah. Ooh.
And
The
also
Night Watch lends you, right? So.
mammoth heads, which are activation tokens, and victory markers, victory points, which are bones.
Solid. I like the on the house as well with the green moss and stuff. Good touch. Great job.
Lovely, honestly lovely. But can you believe it? He sent me that, and he said, "Oh, that's just like a little update," because he'd sent me some free folk stuff before. He said he just wanted to update with characters and stuff like that. But that isn't actually the reason he was sending me pictures. All right. The same individual so then sent me this, which I'll take you through. Look at those.
Dead.
Look at that.
Starks.
Yep, dead Starks.
For the Waltons, yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts my my northern heart.
He's got the Dreadfort Bowman there, who he's done up with the dead Starks, alas.
Tapping on the banner and stuff.
Yeah. It I won't
Gruesome.
make you judge any of this just yet, Thijs, because it gets better. We've got Bolton Blackguard as well. Now he's gone for a very kind of, well, it certainly comes out quite luminous pink almost. Bit brighter than a lot of people. A lot of people go for this like royal purple kind of color, but a little bit more fleshy. He's gone for like a brighter pink. It's not my favorite color, but it does work. I really like it in this combination of colors. It does work really well, and it looks specifically very good on the banner with the flayed man on the banner. Looks really good with that coloring.
Works best on the banner.
The banner looks properly
March pink for my taste. It's a great execution though. You always see the Boltons either the royal purple, what you say, muted dark pink. or the flesh tone pink, the
I
skin
think
color pink.
I think this is the right kind of color, definitely, that he's got. But certainly the shade he's got on the banner there would be perfect. Doug in joke
A bit
says
more dark, a bit more contrast,
maybe
but
yeah.
then it will be perfect.
Doug says
I
look
think
like
this is all
Bolton Noise
contrast paints.
Marines. Bolton Noise Marines. No, that's really nice though. I really like it. And it's good work. But right, it doesn't stop there. And this is where we've got flayed men as well. And
Yeah,
I think
this is better.
yeah, the coloring here is a little better, and you can actually see the blending and things he's got going on with the tone in the capes and stuff. But also, what I actually really like about this, for me, he's got a lovely color on the horse armor, right? I love the color on the horse armor. It's not, Bolton Flayed Men shouldn't be shiny, and these aren't shiny. They are slightly dulled, almost borderline rusting metal. But not. I absolutely love this, and a bunch of dead Starks on the floor as well. Why not?
Yeah,
Love it.
great, especially the banner with the white highlights. White, I think that's also nice. It almost looks like skin has been scratched off the bone. That works great. This
Now,
works better than the black arts though.
yeah,
More
yeah,
darkness in the pink. More
definitely. It's crazy when I show you this next unit as well, because that's your spearman, and I think that spearman it's almost like a halfway between the two, but actually, I think that really works on the spearman the way he's done those. I really like that. It's not it feels like the pink has become an accent rather than or the flesh coloured, whatever you call it, become an accent rather than the main colour. And I think it works really well. I really like this unit. I'd love to see this across the table.
work. I think what would really work if you go a little bit more weathering. If you include like weathering powders, like the matte, the like dirt and stuff, like on the lower parts of the miniature. You do rust streaks and with sepia wash. So you have a pink. So you create a more yellow tone in the pink, so it gets really dirty and stuff. Just little touches here and there, just a little bit of weathering. Really pop the model even more, because the pink is working way better on these than on the black art. The black art was a little bit too much because of the amount of cloth also covered in pink. I think this balances everything.
No, I love these, and he's done a fantastic job on those as well. And there's more, because he didn't just paint up one or two things. He painted up the whole Bolton army for us. So here we've got your Bolton Bastard girls, with the dogs, of course, and who doesn't love a good dog, and Ben Bones as well as the attachment there for the Bolton Bastard girls.
To paint up Ben Bones, he looks awesome. The character.
He does, yeah. I love the dog. I love the dog he's holding as well. I don't know if that. In fact, I say I don't know. I'm pretty sure that dog on Ben Bones' base doesn't come with the model as well. So he's actually picked up
No, it doesn't.
a dog like that, and I think that's a fantastic addition to that base. I think
Scratching dog.
I think honestly, I love this unit. I think it's got character. Yeah, and it's great. It's great. This is the kind of army. If someone put this across the board from me, I would be very happy, like, to play against, because it's just really nicely done, and it's consistent. You'll notice in the basing, there's a lot of dead Starks.
But these are more ripped up compared to the other ones, because these have been attacked by dogs.
Yeah, they've been torn limb from limb. Let's continue, and we'll look at these. And this is great, by the way. You won't expect this. So Ben Bones had a dog, right? An extra dog added to his base. And what best way to really kind of synergize the overall bastard boys together, putting dogs on every bastard boy base. Not what I thought anyone would do, but I think it works. I actually think it works really well. I love it.
Winner.
Um,
Still sitting there, all loyal to his master.
yeah, it's great. I mean, I love this. I think this is it's one of those you don't know you like it till you see it type thing. You know? Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant work. And of course, we'll finish it off last of all with the main attraction, the main feast. And it is, of course, the main characters there of Roos, Ramsey, and Steelshanks with poor old Theoni Reed.
Old sculpts?
Yes. Yeah, old sculpts with the Roos and Ramsey. Obviously, Steelshank Walton. Yeah, old sculpts. I quite like the old Roos, the sword, like the I'm just gonna stand with my pommel kind of thing. I quite like that model. It's always been a nice model. I've never been sure of the Ramsey model purely because I've never been sure of any of the Ramsey models. I don't know.
Oh.
They're not my kind of thing. I just don't know. There's something about it I don't like. And Theon. I was so angry they didn't resculpt Theon.
Actually, the same sculpt in the new set?
Yeah.
Him to seeing banging on his knees or something, like even more.
Yeah, or something.
To be in a Bolton unit in your neutral army, but being a Bolton in the Bolton army is like more desperate than he is.
Yeah, it would have been. I kind of know why, because like Reek, he is basically exactly the same. Obviously, he fulfills the same role as he always did. But it would have been nice to give him like a slightly alternative pose or something different. I think. And yeah, thing is, he's
Because you're already sculpting characters and the unit, so why not the last one as well?
Yeah, especially because I mean I'm not a sculptor, and I'm not going to pretend that I understand how easy or hard it is to get the fine details of a character like this. I've never really tried to sculpt a human before and human features, so you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's easy, but like I can't imagine it would have been massively more difficult to resculpt one more figure, especially who's got limited like clothing, stuff like that as well. It's just very much like here's a base body kind of thing, which I believe a lot of like sculptors learn to do quite early on, get proportions right and things like that. But if they didn't pay for it, you know, the sculptors aren't going to do it unless the team wants that. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but understandable. You know, you've got a perfectly functional model anyway. And to be brutally honest, he is just a token in the game. Really, his model isn't that important, unfortunately. Oh well. So there we go. Nice. There's a whole a few bits of free folk, but a whole Bolton there, army there as well. And just in case, you know, just to really finish it off.
The sausages.
We've got sausages. We've got a massive flayed man hung upside down, and who's the guy on the ruler?
And that the one with the star kids, zigzag.
Yep, can't zigzag. Only run straight. Yeah, fantastic. Overall, the theme of the army, the put together, you know, everything else he's done. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And stuff like this, which is, by the way, completely unnecessary. This is not needed whatsoever. But the fact he even took the time out to do this, I think, is brilliant. So, kudos to him. Are we going to give this strong zeros all round?
I believe we have to,
I believe we have to as well.
especially for the sausages. The sausages made it a solid 0.
A solid 0. A wibbly wobbly 0.
0, yeah.
Yeah, no, fantastic. These are all from Hedge Knight, as he goes by on Discord. I believe his actual name is Mike, Meik, Miek, from Germany. So massive appreciation there for the Hedge Knight for that. I think it's fantastic. He did actually send me a little video as well of going through all of his army as well, which I'll no doubt post at some point. But it's themed in the Battle of the Bastards, as see there. But no, massive appreciation from Mick. Cool.
Work, solid work.
Love it. Cool things people come up with. Give them a paintbrush, give them some sculpting or whatever, and just let them go, and some of the coolest stuff gets made. Gotta love it. All right then. The sausages said, yes, sausages are the best bit. All right. So one of the other things we were going to talk about, and don't you go anywhere, is the Lowlands Grand Tournament. I know we mentioned this last time you were on. We briefly
finally made it happen.
Yeah, and it's here. It's coming to I would say to a country near you, but that's not how national events work. It's coming to a country maybe near you. If you're in Europe, probably near you. So, I mean, first of all, in Amsterdam,
Amsterdam.
I can't read. There we go. That is okay.
If you zoom out a little bit further, you can see where Rotterdam is.
Yeah, okay.
It's over there.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah, it's close to Rotterdam.
It's up there.
Yeah. You can.
It's a bus ride from Rotterdam.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. That caught me off guard. I'm not even gonna lie. That is so similar to Amsterdam. It's unreal. But there we go. Near Rotterdam.
It's actually quite easy because most the Dutch created Holland, all kinds of land. Every time a city has dam in it, it means they had a dam to cut off a river. And the name of the river is the first word. So the Alblas is a river, the Rotte is a river, the Amstel is a river for Amsterdam. So it's all rivers that had a dam in it, and then a settlement settled around the dam.
Amazing.
Dam, it's really easy. It's a river with a city name, sort of.
That's actually, didn't know that. It makes a lot of sense though. You know, I can see that making sense. But yeah, the Lowlands Grand Tournament, which you are kicking off March next year, March the 23rd and 24th. This is going to be, is it basically the first nationals event, for want of a better term, that the Netherlands and/or Belgium is hosting?
Not because the first time was, I think, in 2018.
Oh, right, okay.
Or just right after the Kickstarter. Three factions: neutrals, Starks, and Lannisters.
Nice.
Two main tournament organizers for Wargames in the Netherlands, which is Alliance Open. They host mainly 40k and Age of Sigmar events. We are the second largest tournament organizer, also for Age of Sigmar, Middle-earth SPG as well. We don't do a lot of 40k, but so the competitor, or like the colleague, they did the first one, 35, I think, just after the Kickstarter. So it's like the main after the Kickstarter they played it. Then nothing. We do battle for White Harbor, which is like a small tournament every year, I think. 15 players.
I've seen that come up a few times, so we spoke about it, haven't we? But yeah, I mean, this is first one since 2018.
First time the big one.
Yeah. It'll be nearly nearly 6 years later.
It's 6 years later, almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's also with the Belgium guys because we struggle quite hard for our community. I'm gonna be honest out there. It's really hard to unite everybody, and also the lack of support for the game in the Netherlands, because we have a different Asmodee than others, of course. They don't support at all.
Yeah.
Timon is a long way home. We had one event supported out of the almost 9 events we had here in the Netherlands. It's really hard to get event support at all. So everything comes from just us, the Rotterdam White Scars. So we had to combine it with the Belgium guys, and as you can see, the border is really close.
Yep.
We speak the same language, so that also helps.
It does help a lot. That's fun. I mean, it's fantastic that being able to put something on first and foremost, and being able to service the players in the area. You know, even if that's not necessarily huge numbers, or it's not necessarily the most connected of places in terms of bringing those players out to play. Being able to put it on and, like we've seen in other places in the world, build that community. Battle of White Harbour obviously putting a lot of that effort in already, and then things like this, bring those people together, those communities together into some kind of big event, is going to go a long way in helping to build a community and connect the community. And you've already got some absolutely fantastic individuals involved and businesses. Obviously, Baron of Dice, who is a main supporter of Rotterdam White Scars anyway, but Maxi Reeves as well, who's a great proponent of the game, absolutely loves the game and supporting it everywhere. And I've had the pleasure of meeting those guys as well at France last year.
As well at the French National. So that's why we got Maxi Rev as well. Baron of Dice as well. And also give away discount if people want to buy dice at them. So if you type in Rotterdam 5, you get 5% discount with the capital R.
Rotterdam 5. First R's capital, right? Not the second one.
In the comments, Rotterdam 5, then that's a discount. So everybody who wants a discount with Baron of Dice, it's 5% on every order, multiple times. So share it in your own communities as well. So get paid from that discount, by the way. So don't think it's our own money making. It's just we can give out to people.
Hey, discounts on dice, and people love dice. Get your discount. But yeah, no, it means obviously fantastic.
That's kind of with the players. It's really fun to see because there aren't many Dutch people at the moment. They're mainly German, French, Spanish. It's a really
that's a proper mix, isn't it? Yeah. Orgmo coming over
from the UK, Orgmo.
Yeah. Good to see Pascal going over. Love that. Spanish. NSB, of course. NSB coming up, and Duan from Brussels. Not Brussels, Belgium.
Our outer Belgium friends organizing.
That's cool.
From Germany.
Yeah. Gabu.
Some names there.
Oh, I'm glad Loki's coming. Good to see him attend an international event. Who we don't see much of, obviously, in Song at the moment with his new kid. But he's still cracking on and doing well. And things are going well for him. So it's good to see Nick making it across. Yeah, no, it looks really cool. Really stoked for the event, of course. What if you had to? I mean, it's going to be it's a loaded question because I know what the answer is going to be. But if you were able to reach 50 players, right, which is your kind of capacity you've looked at, would you be over the moon?
I think 50 would be amazing. To be honest, we're hoping 30 plus.
Okay. Cool.
We have a great deal with the venue owner because we do a lot of tournaments on Sunday, and Alblasserdam is in the middle of what we call the Bible Belt, which means the hardcore Christian community. back to the churches again. But we really helped his but we really helped his venue grow on the Sundays, because he had no revenue on Sundays at all because everybody was going to church. We would come down from Rotterdam with 40, 50 players for Middle Earth or Age of Sigmar, fill up his venue, and also book all of his hotel rooms and all stay for dinner. So we really help him out a lot. So we have a great deal with him that we play per player and not necessarily a fixed fee.
Mhm.
So if you come with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 players, it doesn't really matter for him as long as you're there and we make him happy. So that's a great deal for us. Also relieves a lot of pressure financially from us. 50 will be great. I think we rarely reach 50. Most of the time it's 40. But only for Middle Earth we also do the nationals for Middle Earth. We could easily do 80 to 100 players. It's really hard to sell out. Yeah, we sell out in 4 or 5 days mostly.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Insane.
To be honest, we did a little count on how many players we actually actively have in the Netherlands, and I think it's maximum 40,
Wow.
the entire Netherlands, that are actively playing or playing at least once a month across the entire nation. So that's why we really need to push this and also some older people back into the game and spreading the love. To get the Belgium side, I'm not sure how many there are over there, but it would be cool to reach. The goal is at least 30, because that would be really great. 36, because the event in 2018 was 30 years. 5. So if he could beat that, that would be great.
That would be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this, and I mean to have 20 tickets already sold or 20 people already signed up, and we're still in March next year, so we're 5 months out already. So we're still a long way out. And getting the name out there, obviously, giving time for people to sign up, I think it will be absolutely sick. I think it would be great to see. I'm looking at those dates, and unfortunately, it probably doesn't work for me. And the only reason I say that, yeah, I don't know. I might be able to make it. I don't know. I get married on the 5th of April, so literally 2 weeks later. So I don't know if I'll be allowed out of the house at this point.
You can romantic weekend, Mickey, because if you zoom in on the map, it's place is really close to Kinderdijk, which is the UNESCO heritage. It's a little bit the watery parts up north of the blue dot, the green and blue between the two rivers, like the point.
Here.
That's Kinderdijk, which is where all the windmills are.
Oh, right. So like the really picturesque bits you see in all the photos and everything. Yeah.
The World Heritage site for the windmills.
Oh, cool. And that is literally just up the road.
People on the road, yes. People want to come over and also include a spouse or a wife or a girlfriend. You can go to the city, or you can send them to Kinderdijk. You can send them to some kind of attraction. That's no problem at all.
I love how that's a sales point. We have a really nice place that you bring your partner to, and that'll keep them happy. Trust me. We'll have to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes, and I'm really hoping it's a big success as well. Obviously, you guys have been doing a lot for the game, and it would be great to see that the game kind of grows and kind of really is able to bring itself to the front at the event. I'm really looking forward to it, and I know that there's a couple of players from the Netherlands who aren't yet signed up by the looks of it as well, so you'll probably catch some of those closer to the time anyway. But
I think so.
But a strong international group as well, as you say, Germans, UK, Spanish, and of course the guys from Belgium coming up as well is fantastic. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing how that one rolls out next year, and I'll be obviously keeping an eye on how tickets are doing and how people are kind of like how many people you've got on the list. Looking forward to it. All right then. Was there anything else you wanted to run through today, Thijs? Be ahead. Discussed everything, haven't we? Now.
We have, and missing some English players, but
Yeah.
I know Dan and Carlo are still planning to come over as well, so maybe they will join on.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah,
Dan and
maybe
Carlo.
one.
Yeah. Go on.
I think the one of the most important things about the event. Some questions about the price. It's a bit steep for some people. It's 70 euros. Um, that also includes a hot lunch, a gourmet lunch on both days. It's a gourmet hamburgers or satay with fries, salad, soups. It's a complete, yeah, almost it's sort of a dinner that you get in between lunch. Snack in between, coffee and tea in the morning for free. And for drinks, you don't have to go to a bar. We have table service, which is also unique for events. I'm not sure if that's also in abroad, but
What?
we have table service.
That's amazing. That is actually
You have
amazing.
waiters coming to your table and ordering, and you can they will make a bill for you, and at the end of the day, you can pay them. So you don't have to keep going to the bar with your money and stuff. You just put your name, write it down, and at the end of the day, you pay your bill, your tab.
That's amazing.
And I think that's all included in the price. So don't worry about not getting enough food or drinks or whatever. I think yeah, you get plenty of that. But
That's
also explain a little bit why it's a bit steep for some people. But that's fine.
No, that's wicked though. I love that. I didn't realize it's table service. That's amazing.
Curious. So yeah, well, what we try to do is create premium events. So we don't necessarily want to grow to 100 people. We want to keep yeah, we really want to focus on the experience of our events and keep our players happy. So what we've done, for example, for Age of Sigmar, we're also including, if you go to an Age of Sigmar event, you always have to bring your own objective markers, like almost plates that you put on your table, and sometimes they're pink and the table is all gray, and that really messes up the experience. So for Age of Sigmar, we bring markers for the players that match the tables, for example. We want to include those kind of things.
Okay. Cool. That's really awesome.
Just one question, Mickey.
Yeah.
Because what has been discussed a couple times between our videos for the invitational, I don't want to open a can of worms, but the use of chess clocks in tournaments.
Yeah.
Discussed it before, but what I've seen in the invitational, they were just used because they were on the table and not necessarily because they wanted to use a chess clock. Do you believe they should be mandatory or they should be? We're really doubting also for this event to use them because of a lot of communities from all over the place, so we don't know what kind of are normal and how everybody will behave when you put a German, French, a Belgian, a Dutch, a English, a French, and whatever a Polish guy together. What would happen?
Yeah. I don't. The thing is, it's difficult because I've played on clocks a lot. I've played on clocks a lot for Song now, and they don't really bother me too much. I'm never usually that put off for things by the clock. In fact, if anything, most of the time it's me who's forgetting to press the button when I play on a clock, even when I play on them, because like for me, I'm just like not that bothered by the amount of time that I'm spending usually in a game. Um, which is funny because so many people are like, "Oh, you play so slow," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." But that might be because the clock is there, and the clock is making me play faster indirectly. It's not that I'm wasting time because I'm worried about being on a clock, and I'm just like, "Oh, I've got to play fast because I'm on the clock," or whether it's not just the clock is there, therefore I feel confident that I should just play and do the right things straight away. Um, and I don't know if that's just me, but I enjoy playing on a clock. I think clocks are fine. I prefer playing on a clock to not in a lot of circumstances, actually. Um, partially because I've spoken to players about this before, actually, but there can be periods in a game, the game is slow, where I can become disinterested in the game. And like there have been certainly on TTS, certainly when TTS like in its heyday, there were games I was playing that like 4 hours long, nearly. And no word of a lie, I'd like come to the computer. I spend like 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, doing a particular move on my turn, and I'd walk away, and I come back in like 5 minutes, and my opponent still hasn't done anything really. You know, and that's not a criticism of any individual particular opponent, but I think that if you become disconnected from the game like that, it's very hard to be excited to keep playing. And sometimes I've been sat there and I'm waiting for my opponent to make one decision, and I'm like, look, can you just make a decision? Because if you just sit here quietly for the next 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I am going to lose any interest in playing the game, and like borderline, I'll just quit because I just don't want to do this anymore. Which is, it's my own impatience, which is the problem. I'm not even going to sit and lie to people, but I think that comes from the nature of just trying to play quickly. And playing with clocks means that that's more likely going to happen. I can sit and watch the clock and go, actually, it's okay if my opponent spends 5 minutes. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, you may be right, but the thing is that really like a sensitive subject, because if you look at the games that we also host for tournament play, so Age of Sigmar or Middle Earth, a really objective reason to use a clock, because some people, for example, if you bring a Goblin army with 80 models, a Rivendell army with 20 models, you have models to move in your move phase. I have 20 models to move in my move phase. A big chunk of time.
Yeah.
So these games don't have a fixed round sequence, so you can play 5 rounds, 10 rounds, 15 rounds, depending on how much time you have. Play a game that the biggest difference between two activations is like 6 and 10, right? Roughly 7, 8. You never really activate a lot. Like the time you want to spend isn't a lot more than your opponent, even if you're playing free folk.
And the thing,
fixed time.
Yeah.
You have a fixed. You play 6 rounds, so there's a fixed schedule to play. So if you're done, you're done. So it's a bit. We're a bit on the doubt to also introduce them in. We're probably gonna go for it's only mandatory if one of the opponents asks for it.
Which is fine. That's fine. And
not include them. Yeah.
If anything, one of the things I would say is that clocks, if you've got a good amount of time, let's say you've got 2 hours, right? If you've got 2 hours to play a game in an event, clocks aren't going to make people play faster and force them to be like feel unpleasant. And the best example I would have for you is Dan this year. Dan from me and Carlo's Dan. He used to play against me and Carlo, and he's never really played under a clock at all before going to LGT this year in Invitational. And he played under it, and by the end of the weekend he's like, yeah, actually I really enjoy it. It doesn't add like a worry to me that it's like an issue. But also like it just means that both players are more likely to progress the game. And I think that was the thing, and that's what the one thing that clocks innately do, which is both players no longer have a reason to hold the game up. So it's not actually about how quickly you play. It's about that both players are now playing. And the social contract between the two players of let's have a game of A Song of Ice and Fire isn't being enforced, but it's kind of being reinvigorated as let's play a game together. And it's funny, it's almost like the clock being there does it, not the amount of time on the clock.
I think so. I think the combination you could make, and we've seen this because we went to so many tournaments this year, the game also becomes more fair if we are recording the game.
Yes. Yeah.
We had some instances, I'm not going to call any, that there were some questionable moments pointed out immediately on YouTube.
Yeah.
So also positive way helps really competitive games be more fair. No chance of cheating or picking up the wrong dice or whatever. I'm not saying that will to prevent certain things, but it helps the event if you record the games.
Yeah, literally.
I've discussed it with Carlo as well. It helped him because we recorded all the final as well. They're and Sophie are great players, so they wouldn't cheat. But if it does, it also helps for in a weird way.
Yeah, and it's ironically it's not the fear of being caught cheating. It's the you both want to play a clean. You both know the other player wants to play a clean game, and it's like the police, right? The police, in theory, allow everyone to obey the law. If you're never going to break the law, you don't need the police. But like having the police there is like never a bad thing because like yeah, well I'm not going to break the law. Why would I worry? At least that's the theory, right? I mean, obviously there are obviously issues with that, but that's the theory. If no one's going to break the rules or no one's going to do anything wrong anyway, then the thing doesn't matter. But it acts as a reassurance of we both know each other aren't going to do anything bad, and here's this thing to make sure that we don't, because it's not important that we use it. It's important it's there. So yeah, but you know, if you're going to use clocks, one of the things I do think it's a good idea. Not having them on a death clock. I don't like death clock myself. Not that I think it comes up very often, but by death clock, you know, I don't like just automatically someone losing by crushing loss. I just don't like that for the game. I don't think that's a good thing. But you could easily give, if it's a 2-hour round, each player like 55 minutes. And then there's a 10-minute kind
Probably
of
gonna do
like
that.
leeway or something at the end, or at the start, and you say, look, you've got 10 minutes not on the clock to do setup and everything, and then when we say start, you've got 55 minutes each from that point. If you start before the first 10 minutes, that's fine. Like, like that's not an issue. You've got some extra time. And then, you know, it's up to you how you want to do it. We've had other people start after setup, which was crazy because me and Forrest didn't start our clock until about 15 minutes after we finished setting up on the last round. So like we were miles behind everyone else. For the invitational, Carlo obviously set the clocks. He would actually click each clock and said, "Right now you start playing." So yeah, there's loads of different ways to do it, and I don't think any of them are wrong if you're going to do it. So, and I think you'll be surprised the number of players who played on clocks. They either said it didn't matter, it just didn't matter, or they didn't really care and it didn't make a difference. It was surprisingly high. So
it was really high. Nobody ran out of time. Nobody lost or won on the clock. So I think that was great.
Yeah.
Especially for a high competitive tournament. I think it's one of the best high competitive tournaments. I'm talking about the Invitational that I've seen. Like how precise it was run, how great all the players were. There wasn't. When you look at the ELO can be a bit distorting the player skill. People are going for badges, for example, or also recording a lot of fun games. But I think the difference in player skill wasn't also that high. There was a great playing field.
It's
Watch those games and it was amazing.
You notice it a lot more when players reach a certain level of skill. It's the difference between them as players is like negligible, really. What it comes down to is the consistency they're able to perform, not the actual necessary set of skills they have as a player. You know, a good example, Keijo Isaac, who went on to win the Invitational. Isaac, when he's playing on a good day, is a very, very, very good player, very, very strong. Yeah, and you know, the same Keijo on a bad day is not so great. And his rating is indicative of his average performance through the good and the best, but also the bad. And that's kind of the beauty of stats and the beauty of the ELO, is that it doesn't capture when you're just at your best. It captures you at your worst as well and gives you a better kind of idea of where somebody's at. And that's what makes, someone like Mikel, and not just Mikel, but the other players that we see in and around the top. So it's so good to see them recording casual games as well, because it shows them at their best and at their worst. And if they're able to be that good at their best and their worst, then the consistency they have is ridiculous. And it's the consistency and that strength that we like to see. And Mikel, for a year, 2 years now, or certainly a year and a half, has been consistently at the top pretty much the whole time. And that comes from just a consistent level of performance. And it only takes, as we spoke about at the very start of the session, only takes a couple of losses in a row, which isn't unlikely. Like, it really isn't unlikely. And all of a sudden you drop just a lot, and then that consistency kicks back in, and 10, 20 games later, that he's not lost a game in that time, and he's back up to that level. But yeah, it's when you have a bad day, oh my god, it hurts at the top. A bad day hurts. But yeah, it's ELO. It's what you do it for. It's fun and the game. Love off. But yeah, anyway, I went on a bit of a weird one there. But yeah, you're right. At the top, an invitation was indicator of that.
Yeah. Mickey, we've discussed more than we started out to discuss, I think.
We did. We discussed loads of
Planned
stuff.
for a couple topics, and then we catched up on a lot of topics. But I think that was cool.
It's always cool talking to people, and it's an odd one for me, actually. Well, not an odd one, but like, it's always nice because, I've said this before, and I'm just reiterating things I've said before, really. But I speak to a lot of people online, play a lot of games with people online as well, of course. Communicate with all kinds of people from all across the world at points, and then you getting the opportunity to actually talk to someone in person and meet properly and get to know someone. And I always think it's great when you talk to someone, get to know them online, and then you meet up and they are exactly as you pretty much expected in terms of like you weren't different than what I thought you'd be. And London, I already knew your own, and then obviously met you at London, and it was like, yeah, cool, this is exactly the Thijs I thought Thijs would be like. And it was just natural, kind of like, we'll just fit straight into a conversation, chat about this, talk about this. And similarly here, invite you on, but then all of a sudden it's like just, continuing the same conversation. Like it was never finished. So no, it's great. I love it. And again, you guys at Rotterdam have really shown that this year. Again, I'll say, in the ability to meet and greet and visit and get to know and really just spread yourselves, but also channel and ultimately your love for the game, which is what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. I think it all ends with consistency. Also for the channel, also for playing games.
Yeah.
It's the thing that is the hardest to achieve. And I think in game and also for content creation.
Mm-hmm.
And what you guys are doing every week, steady and not even missing out. I think you're averaging on 40, 45 week plus a year.
Yeah, roughly.
A couple out of 52. I think we're trying to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Going 40, 50 bed reps a year.
Yeah, you got some fans.
I think that the consistent.
Crohn's in chat. Huge fan of Rotterdam. Keep it up. Says Crohn'saholic. Okay. Anthony as well wants to know what's in the cabinet. He says it looks like a wall diorama. I don't think it is. I think it's just the way the shadow falls on his cabinet. But I
have a lot of painted models, over 1,000. So I can show them all, but then we will be here until tomorrow.
What's okay if you had to, and this is nothing to do with song necessarily. What is one of your personal favorite painted models? It doesn't have to be for a specific reason, like the best one or anything like that. But have you got a favorite?
I can working on a really big project for over 5 years now. I can
Okay.
show you.
Ooh, I have no idea what this is, by the way, guys. So this could be really interesting. It could be like a literal human skull he's cleaning up. I have no idea. Oh, cool.
Lake Town diorama.
A Lake Town diorama.
Uh,
Nice.
all water effects. Basically,
Big Thijs version.
Lake Town diorama, and I have a lot of models here on my desk, so they're not all.
Oh, that is
Actually, the base for Smaug. Smaug can fit on the base.
nice. Love that.
Working on that for 5 years, and I spent more money on this than on Smaug itself. So, and Smaug is about 400 euros, so you have an idea.
Oh wow. um,
uh,
that's really cool.
and
Love
that's
that.
my big project, and I'm finishing it up because actually next year I'm going to tickets for the 2020 version, but I'm going to go to Golden Demon for the first time for Games Workshop to try and enter
Really?
this one in diorama. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That is actually awesome. Are you going to the Warhammer World Golden Demon one?
Fest one in the UK, yes.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
I'm
Honestly,
actually working on a.
you need to tell us how that goes. Yeah?
Okay, now I'll show you a little. Because I've already, yeah, the thing is, I've always wanted to go to Golden Demon. That's my childhood dream. So it's a bit a different subject than fire, but yeah, I've already competed in a lot of competitions here in the Netherlands as well. So it was Lowlands painting competition, which was also judged by Heavy Metal. Got a couple, and also a couple single mini trophies for Lord of the Rings models as well at World Championship. In a couple Golden Demon winners in that category. So if I got a shot somehow, because I already beaten some people that already won the Golden Demon, so it feels like it is possible. I was
That's cool.
I was really crushed because last year I became second in the competition for army painting. I was really bummed. I was like, yeah, why did it win? And I was just so furious. And then the guy that won first place in the army painting actually won gold in the Golden Demon for Middle Earth. I was like, okay, that's fair.
Fair enough. Yeah. Maybe he's pretty good.
You win. You win. Yeah, maybe you are good. You're very good.
Well, that's awesome though. Honestly, you'll have to tell us how that goes, and obviously, I mean, we'll probably catch out on Rotterdam White Scars anyway. If it does end up doing really well, we need a full breakdown of each, full pictures and everything like that. And oh, you'll have to tell us how that goes. I'm did not expect that to come out of this conversation whatsoever, and I'm really glad it did. So yeah, that's awesome. Really awesome.
One of the reasons why I can't do much next year because I have a couple events especially for Golden Demon set out that I want to put my money in. So that's also the reason I'm not going. I personally won't do 4 events abroad next year because I got things to do also. Holiday with the missus. So then yeah, you have to pick your battles.
You do. No, that's awesome. Honestly, that's awesome, mate. And as you say, I'm excited for you now. I really hope
Thanks.
it's your childhood dream, man. You know, you're gonna go to Golden Demon. You're gonna smash it. You're gonna do really well. I hope you win, but I can't say that you will because I can't tell the future. But you're gonna do really well, and you're probably gonna win, and then you're gonna have all your childhood dreams come true. And then you'll need another project, right?
Well, I have to do something else and something else, something else, and paint the rest of my miniatures and print more miniatures, do more miniatures. It's gonna be crazy. Never ending.
It never ends.
Story of the hobby.
The pile of shame literally never ends. Oh no, that's fantastic. I'm really stoked, and thanks for sharing that with us, Dice. Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
For
all
having
right
me
then.
again.
All right then. We'll go through and have a look at tournaments coming up in the next week. As we wind down, I think I don't recall there being that many this weekend. We've got the French event. I think it's the series league thing that they've got running. I'm not sure. Anthony says they need a golden demon for song. Like I guess you couldn't call it a golden demon, but I guess you could call it something similar, like an Iron Throne or something. The Iron Throne of song.
Crystal Brush done by Simon.
Yeah, Crystal Brush is done by Simon, right? Yeah. They do they still award that at is it Adepticon? They award Crystal Brush.
So I'm not sure if Adepticon is in Las Vegas, but
I can't remember. No, yeah, it's LVO, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, they need a Crystal Brush just for song category. That'd be awesome. All right, so we've got an event up in the Fast November League in Poland, which is a very fast league. That's 16 players in a league less than a month. We've got an event in Russia, and an event in Walsall in Bordenbrum, Age of Heroes, this weekend as well. That's a decent sized event. Event in Barcelona, Spain. An event in Madrid, Spain.
Cheers.
I know, right? Spanish people love it. That's 60 players. There's no come out of nowhere if it is. Okay, yeah, they haven't got actual 60 players signed up yet. At least not officially. We've got an event in Poland in Gdansk, a 30-point event in the Krom group. An event in Saint Etienne in France, and we've got here. PA is Pennsylvania. It's the New Jersey versus PA event, the New Jersey versus Pennsylvania event, which has been kind of like talked about for a long time. That's actually finally upon us, as well as another event in Great Escape Games in Sacramento, California. The guys in La Réunion in France also playing another event there.
Isn't that a Caribbean island? Réunion?
Is it Caribbean? I always think it's French island, right? Have I just been chatting shit about?
See?
It's
This
Mauritius.
is Madagascar. So
Madagascar. Why did I feel like it was French? It's because it's in French.
French, probably, as a colony.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I feel stupid
the
now.
Dutch and the French have a lot of colonies, so.
Yeah, I should know about that, shouldn't I? I had no idea. I feel like I knew that and then I forgot it and now I know it again. That's weird. I don't know.
Some
That's cool,
expat.
Yeah.
Some kind of expat place for.
Expat community, man. The worst.
For the most exotic tournament.
Yes, it literally is the most exotic tournament. I think that is the most exotic we've had. A tiny island off the coast of Madagascar playing this game. Amazing though, at the same time.
Was OP.
This is the dentist in the middle of nowhere that we've all been dreaming of. He's the best player in the world. Who does he play against? One other player. All right, we've got an event in Fichamp in France, or Fricamp. I'm not going to butcher that anymore. And an event happening in Bad Moon Cafe in London this weekend as well. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 events. 13 events across France, Russia, Poland, French Island, Spain, and the USA, and of course I can't remember. Yeah, loads and loads and loads of events running. It's always exciting. It's always exciting to see what's coming up. And of course for yourself, Thijs, the Lowlands tournament next year, which I again wish you good luck with.
amount of events. I remember days that I sat here that we had to discuss 3 events. So
Yeah. Now we can't discuss them because there's too many. It's a different world. It's a scary world. But yeah. All right then. Any last words from yourself, Thijs, before we close up shop?
No, just thank you, and a big shout out to all the communities we visited last year. I think this is a great moment because we've been done traveling this year. Yeah, although some people are pessimistic about the future of the game, I believe that you see how much the community has grown, how much events they're still on the calendar and they're still growing, and we still have new players coming in. Also, what I've seen on our channel, the growth, it can't come out of thin air. It has to be players being interested in the game. So, yeah, big shout out to all the communities.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you very much again, Thijs. And to echo what Thijs said there, big thanks to everyone, all different communities that I've had the opportunity of meeting and seeing this year myself, and obviously on to more next year. And if you're looking to create content, don't be afraid, jump in, start creating. Love to see that
Shout
kind of
as well.
stuff. Definitely. All right then, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in for another week. I might be back next week. I need to check whether or not I'm actually going to be in the house or not. Actually have furniture arriving this week as well for stuff. So this will all be unpacked and sorted. But if not, I will catch you next week at the new time, or I'll catch you the week after at the new time, an hour earlier for some people or later, but still 7 p.m. GMT. And I hope you enjoy your games this week. And Thijs, best of luck for yourself. And yeah, I'll see you all soon.
Ready? Aim! There's too many!
Anyone see my mammoth?
Stubby!